Hello, I'm Brigantia Blackbird of Blackbird's Brew. Happy Tuesday and welcome back to Pagan Problems. Today we're going to be talking about seeking the gods. When we first come to paganism, we tend to be very enthused. We're keen to absorb everything that we can. So we immerse ourselves in history, archeology. We read endless tomes about paganism and we watch who knows how many commentary and how-to videos. And yet, sometimes we still struggle to break through and actually succeed in forging that genuine connection with the gods themselves. So we seek out advice. We try different things to make that happen. We perform rituals, make sacrifices, we pray, and sometimes the silence is still deafening. So then we ask questions. Are the gods disinterested in me? Are they real? Did I go through all this for nothing? Is there something else I can do? Am I even worthy? And we go in these circles. We're frustrated, we're floundering, and it's not a fun place to be, as plenty of pagans can attest to. And I won't go so far as to say that this is a rite of passage that we all endure, but it is a common experience that it can take a while to navigate through successfully. So if you are there right now, or have been there, or you're struggling to reestablish a spiritual relationship with the gods, perhaps you went away for a period of time and now you're wanting to come back, then you probably know exactly how this feels. It does hurt and a person does feel lost, but I want to assure that anyone watching this that it can and it will get better. The more I learn about paganism, the more I realize what a huge philosophical shift it is to go from having a Christian background to a pagan worldview. The very idea of what is divinity and how do the divine and human connect and interact is wildly different. In the Abrahamic traditions, they teach that, their God is the one God, the true God, the creator of all. But yet one of the common things that people say, whether they are still in those religions or they've come away from them, is that this deity can feel very remote, even detached. In pagan traditions, by contrast, the gods are the progenitors of our very ethnic group. We are of essentially their blood. Whether that's metaphorically or literally is up for debate, but they are us, we are them. And when you look at the myths about different intermarriages, half deities being born, a crossing of divine and human bloodlines, this connection is clearly visceral and primal. There's nothing remote about it. And this is really the foundation for why so many pagans are encouraged to look first into the gods of their ancestors, because it's just the odds are highly probable that most people will find their home there and they will have that sense of belonging and connection, because essentially when they're going to the gods of their ancestors, the gods of their ethnic group, they are going home to their family, the very roots of that family. Now, that being said, it doesn't work that way 100% of the time. Some pagans find themselves to be effectively adopted by a tribe of gods who are quite different from their ancestral background. I mean, it happens. Other people do eventually forge that connection with their ancestral gods, but only after an extended period of time. And both situations can be intensely frustrating. And it's a feeling that oftentimes we have to learn to live with and tolerate while still being committed to our path and walking that path, continuing our studies and putting into practice everything that we've learned. And sometimes this delay between our having that desire to connect and actually connecting, it has more to do with us learning the lesson that we cannot force these things to happen on our own timetable. What we can control is our actions, and we can have our actions demonstrate our sincerity to cultivate that relationship. But we have to remember the gods are not at our beck and call, and it is they who determine when a connection begins, if it begins, on what terms, for what purpose, in what form, and for how long. And so patience is one lesson that we can really take away from the situation, and likely it isn't the only one. And if we look for what this experience is teaching us as we're going through it, along with practicing the virtues that the gods we want to connect to hold dear, it will ultimately bring us closer to that relationship that we crave. Becoming pagan is a process that occurs within the core of our soul. And when the time is right, we can trust that the gods will choose to connect with us. But our task is to persevere and look for lessons while we wait. So I don't know if that makes anyone feel better or not, but those are my thoughts for today. Share with me your thoughts on this subject. Have you ever had trouble connecting? Do you ever find yourself having the reverse problem, like, oh dear gods, they're just always in my ear, and there's just no escape from them? Whatever your situation and experience is, I would be very curious to hear about it, and I imagine other seekers would as well. So tell me all about it in the comments below, or come visit us on Gilded. There's a link to join us in the description box, and we would love to have a conversation with you. But that'll do it for this video, and I will see you next time. Bye.